Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the benefit of the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We are going to go into the almost middle of June, as we are on June 12th, 1982, in this particular episode. The first that is available of the footage of the Texas Stadium shows. I think the first one was in 81, but that footage not available. They said they were going to split it up over a 2-week time period, and the first of those was available here. Interesting to see stadium wrestling, if we're looking at the first major stadium, probably 80 for WWF 86 in Toronto. So about a few years before the WWF did it, Texas Stadium looks really empty from the shots they're using in this particular scenario. And I mean, I don't even know the capacity, but I mean, they're showing like literally thousands of seats empty along one wall. So maybe they put everyone in one area, or maybe they didn't sell well, or what? Who knows? But suffice to say, it does not look good from a aesthetic standpoint. Anyway, please like, subscribe, comment if you enjoy these audios. So we move into Bill Irwin versus Ken Mantell as our opener for this week. Not a bad match, but I honestly, in all sincerity, did find the match a little bit boring. Mantell just doesn't do it for me. I think in this particular scenario, in a stadium environment, this is a waste of Wild Bill Irwin. I think there were many other people on the roster who could have been a better challenger for him. I mean, really simple match. Most basic match, probably, I'd say a first or second year wrestling school student could do it. The majority of the first several minutes of the match is Mantell working the arm, and amazingly, they're keeping the crowd. What crowd is there? They're keeping the crowd reasonably enthralled with like 4 and 5 minute arm bars. Then we move to a sleeper attempt by Irwin, and then we move a little further along into, Irwin using a jumping knee, and Mantell using the buckles, kind of using the ring. Again, the stadium looks really, really empty here. I don't honestly see how this is profitable even by 1982 standards. Perhaps future stadium shows. I know I've seen footage of the David Von Erich Memorial. I haven't seen the whole show, but I know they did one of those, and I know that his stadium show was much better attended than this one. But real basic match using leverage. Irwin cheats wherever he can, but it's not so flagrant that he doesn't wrestle well. He does the running slam followed by the big knee, but he misses the knee. I think that's the first time I've seen him miss the knee that flagrantly. And then they continue fighting for several minutes. There's someone on the outside trying to, kind of stop the match post-match, because Mantell does try to sneak by. Actually, that's not post-match. That's actually during the match. I guess there's a security guard out there or something trying to stop him, but it looked weird. And then in the later part of the match, Mantell's working over the leg. I don't know. The match felt disjointed to me. It just felt like it was there for the sake of being there. It felt very much like they were filling time with the match, not so much that the match had long-term value. Eventually, Bill Irwin does sneak by with the victory, and by sneak by, we're talking just something really simple. Let me go and just take a peek at my notes on the specific finish here. Um, Irwin hits the knee in the corner, and then there is a figure four, or actually spinning toe hold, which would get over in Texas because of the Funks. Spinning toe hold attempt by Mantell. Irwin kicks him off into the corner, and the kickoff into the corner is what leads to the victory. I mean, imagine that. 15-minute match or 12-minute match, whatever it is, ends because a guy's been kicked into the corner. Then we go into an 8-man, $10,000 invitational body slam battle royal. Now, I'd never seen one of these before. I hope never see one again. Andre the Giant and 7 other people. Most of the regulars here are out and about, and the only way to eliminate your opponent from the battle royal is to body slam them. As is to be expected, Andre the Giant wins the battle royal. This is the gimmick back in the day. Andre, who, if you are a younger fan, let's say under the age of 20, and you don't know who Andre the Giant is, search him out. He's one of the reasons that the Big Show exists, because without Andre, I don't think the Big Show would have been nearly the star that he was for the last 20 years. But anyway, Andre the Giant wins the Battle Royal, finally and lastly eliminating Bugsy McGraw. Bugsy McGraw does everything he can to slam the Giant, but that does not go according to his idea of the plan. This eventually leads to an interview with Al Madrill and Kerry Von Erich. Kerry spends the majority of time talking somewhat coherently about the international reach and the world-class nature reach of the world-class brand, for lack of a better term. Bugsy McGraw out next with a equally incoherent interview, but this was at least in character, where he talks about slamming big men, being big enough to slam anybody, etc. and so forth. You can start to see he's becoming a little unhinged. There's a babyface turn over the next maybe month and a half or so that you can begin to see, especially with him losing the Battle Royal and not being able to slam Andre, that Hussein is getting upset with him. Then we move into this week's main event, and it's the Magic Dragon and Kabuki versus the Von Erichs of Kevin and Kerry. Really decent match. Probably the most well-received of the week, obviously. But they go, oh gosh, probably, let me just check the timestamp just for fun. But I'm going to guess close to 20 minutes. Maybe not that, but maybe closer to 15. But, I mean, yeah, so they're doing ring introductions at just about 29 minutes. And so they go almost 20 minutes here. Back and forth. Von Erichs look good throughout, but Kabuki and Magic Dragon never lose their heat. There's many points in the match where it could have gone to either team. The All-Asian Tag Team Championships are on the line here. The heels are more strikers. The babyfaces go for the claw. They come back with the strikes. Nerve holds are big for the champions, and it looks as though the Von Erichs are going to be successful as Kerry gets a visual pin. However, David Kevin has David, and I misspoke there. David Von Erich and Kerry Von Erich are your challengers. For some reason, I had Kevin on the brain. I think because he's in the next week's program. That's probably why. But anyway, David and Kerry are your challengers here. Several times, Magic Dragon uses his reverse choke sleeper. It's always broken up. David finally flings one of the challengers over the top rope, which is an NWA disqualification. This happens immediately before Kerry hits a suplex on the other challenger in ring. They give the visual pin, but the referee, at the bequest of Gary Hart, reviews the call with the other official. It's one thing I do like about World Class. There are 2 officials for tag team matches. I think that would be something I'd even implement today, just because I think it add an interesting old school element that is still believable. You know, hey, there's more people out here, therefore we need extra eyes. Makes sense. Anyway, but the Von Erichs are unsuccessful because of that technicality. Wonder if that's not a Dusty Rhodes finish back in 1982, or did Eddie Graham come up with that finish? I'd be interested to know where the visual pin followed by or within minutes of the over the top rope disqualification piece, where that finish comes from. I'd really be interested to know. In any event, that is the review for the 12th of June, 1982. We'll be back up with more, maybe tonight, but definitely tomorrow. Stay with us. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.